All right, so what I'm going to be doing is posting some retro reviews here on my review channel. These were over on my voiceover channel. I do have a channel as Aaron Fisher's Never Ending Voices portfolio, and I want to keep that strictly my voiceover business. And I've been thinking about doing this for years, and I've been wanting to pull these reviews off of that site and moving them over to my review channel. So I'll be doing that one by one. I'm going to start out with the big one. This is a review I did for Star Wars: The Last Jedi when it came out. Um, you'll find out I was sorely disappointed with this film, and I actually lay out reasons as to why. I am a massive Star Wars fan uh, of the live action stuff, not so much the books, the games, or even most of the cartoon series, but I am a huge fan of the live action stuff. And man alive, I understand how movies are made. I understand what goes into writing, the music, putting everything together. And this was a review that I would say is very passionate. So check it out. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And I still stand by everything that I said in this review. So check it out. And again, please subscribe, share my channel. I'm not going anywhere. This channel is just going to get bigger and bigger by the day. So I'm looking forward to putting these retro reviews on there. I'm going to just do a brief introduction on the other ones as I do them, letting you know that this is a retro review and to look for the other ones. And I'll start a playlist for these as well. So these are ones that are 2 years old or older than that. I thought about doing this, and a lot of these don't have video. So this one does, but the rest are just going to be audio with a card over it. So I'll end up putting those up. So I do appreciate you watching and subscribing, and look forward to those other reviews soon. Hello, my name is Aaron Fisher. I'm actually a voice actor, and on my channel, I have actually posted lots of movie reviews in the past, just voice reviews. But I kind of felt like I needed to do an actual full-blown video review for the new Star Wars movie, and not for the right reasons. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not one of those fans that's coming out here and whining because the movie didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Through my review today, I'm going to prove to you why this movie was nothing other than a middle finger to everything that came before it, especially with Episode 7 with what J.J. Abrams did. And I'm going to prove this point by point. Literally everything that J.J. Abrams set up, Rian Johnson took and threw it out the window. So know that this is going to have spoilers in it. And I'm going to point a few things out along the way that back up what I'm going to say. So here are the onset problems that I had with the movie. First of all, you take Finn, DJ, and Rose out of the film entirely, and it doesn't change anything. Their overall story arc has absolutely no effect on the outcome of this film. If you literally cut them from the movie entirely, the movie's going to be the exact same movie without them. Their whole storyline was filler. And before people try to tell me that this was character building on the story of Finn, not really. It was a cheap way to do it. It took up too much of the film. It's what you call the long way around the block. Okay, not real good. That was my first gripe with it. The second gripe I had was we left Episode 7 with a very emotional scene where there was no dialogue. Rey getting off the Falcon, going up the stairs, finding Luke Skywalker. He turns around, shows himself, and she hands a lightsaber to him, and he has this look on his face like, oh, no, right? So we think there's going to be this emotional story that goes along with this, their dialogue, however that scene plays out. So this movie begins with a very action-packed opening sequence, which I thought was pretty amazing. But as soon as they cut to the island, and this is where the spoilers are going to start, and Luke
gets a lightsaber, and then he chucks it over his shoulder off the side of the island. Not even in a I'm angry or, I'm upset kind of a way. It was actually a very comedic type of throw. Not what I was expecting. And, they've had that saying in the film that this movie, or this isn't, Luke Skywalker famously says in the film, this isn't going to go the way you expect. As soon as I saw that, I knew this wasn't going to go the way I expected. And that's where I started to feel uncomfortable for the rest of the film. So, here's why this was a middle finger to everything that J.J. Abrams set up. And I really hope Rian Johnson has a chance to watch this video. I hope Disney pays attention, because I got to tell you, I don't know who it was that sat in this writer's room with these group of creative people and said, hey, this is a great idea. We should do this. So we have some pretty important story arcs that were started with Episode 7. Let's start with Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is a great character. I liked his mask. I liked his presence in the first film and in that opening sequence in Episode 7 when he gets off his ship and goes in and kills the guy who had Luke Skywalker's, his whereabouts. Pretty intriguing, pretty scary figure. And then obviously when he kills his father, Han Solo, that was pretty emotional as well. He turned out to be a pretty bad dude. So what happens at the beginning of this movie? Kylo Ren disappoints his master, and we're going to get to Snoke here in a few minutes. But he disappoints Snoke. So what does he do? Like a baby, as he's going out of the elevator, he smashes his mask to shed his mask. He no longer needs it. Undoing something, an idea that J.J. Abrams had. That's one thing. Same with the ending scene in Episode 7 with Luke. There's no one who would have predicted or thought it was okay for Luke to act in the way that he did. The next thing, let's talk about Snoke. Okay? Snoke has been one of the most talked about fan theories out there. And I'm not going to complain because it didn't go the way I thought. I want to explain something about movies. They don't do musical cues and dialogue by accident. When they showed Snoke in Episode 7, every time they showed him, they played a certain Star Wars theme that was only played one other time in any of the movies, and it was in Episode 3 when Palpatine was telling Anakin the story of Darth Plagueis, who he was referred to as Plagueis the Wise. Well, that music was played only during Snoke scenes in Episode 7, and there was twice in the movie where Kylo Ren calls his master Wise. I'm telling you right now, writers and musicians, the composers, they don't make mistakes with their music and with the dialogue that they use. This was not by accident, okay? They were definitely leading up to something. So this has been speculated about. So what happens to Snoke in this film? He gets killed towards the last third of the film. He is cut down by Kylo Ren from across the room by Luke's lightsaber, which is mind-boggling. This was like the cheapest way out of this storyline altogether. And I have read reports that Rian Johnson has said he didn't like that character to begin with. So what does he do? He gives the middle finger to the fans. He gives the middle finger to whatever J.J. Abrams started, and he kills this character with no regard to what should have been done. So, the way it happened, I'm not buying it. He is supposed to be the supreme leader, and he has this amazing power. He's got the lightning powers, but he can't sense that this lightsaber at his side is about to be turned against him and go off. That makes no sense. And he was strong enough to put images into Rey's head and into Kylo Ren's head to get them to want to meet. Okay, someone that powerful can't sense that lightsaber is about to go off? Makes zero sense at all. ruining something possibly amazing that J.J. Abrams set up. Everybody wants to know the history on Snoke. They want to know who he is, what he's done, where he came from. But, Rian Johnson said, screw that. We're going to kill him. So that was disappointing. Now let's talk about Rey's parentage. That is another wildly speculated about fan theory over, the last couple of years. And again, Rian Johnson took the cheapest way out of this, saying that her parents came from nothing. That was the point, is that, and he even backed this up, saying he's not backing down from this. Was his intent the entire time. He thought it would have more emotional impact other than her coming from special lineage. And I'm not even saying she has to come from special lineage, but I find it strange in episode 7 that the character at the beginning of the movie that had Luke's whereabouts on Jakku happens to be on the same island that Rey's, or the same planet that Rey's on. I don't think that was a coincidence. She was brought there and dropped off for a purpose. So we still don't know anything about that guy either. There was no history or backstory on him, which I was hoping to find a little bit more about in this movie, but we didn't get anything. So I'm not disappointed that he said nothing. It's the fact that, again, it erases something that J.J. Abrams started, and it just does away with it. In this film, there's no really character growth for Finn. Like I said, cut him out of the movie entirely, and it doesn't affect the overall story arc. And I understand creative writing, but you don't put a huge story arc in a film that has no relevance to the overall story. And I saw someone put this brilliantly. If you look at this movie as a whole, you have to envision it as a 9-chapter book, okay? And up until now, we've had 7 chapters. You get to chapter 8 in the book, and then the guy doing chapter 8, or the author, changes everything. It's almost like erasing the board. That's a great way to put it. You don't change the rules towards the end of the story. And I can't believe Disney's giving this guy his own trilogy. I will not be going anywhere near it. If he wanted to clean the slate, he could have done it after this trilogy. And I heard that Colin Trevorrow, the guy who directed the last Jurassic Park film, he was on tap to direct episode 9, but bailed out because of creative differences. Yeah, I can kind of understand why. I would have dropped out too after seeing what Rian Johnson did. Now, the last thing that I had a massive issue with was how Luke was portrayed at the end of the movie. He didn't do anything amazing. I want to make it very clear that Rey and Kylo Ren could definitely meet with each other and actually touch hands, and there was physical interaction with them, and they were able to project themselves across the galaxy. But then Luke comes in at the end, and we were all waiting. As a fan of Luke, waiting 30 years to see him return, he doesn't do anything except project his image across the galaxy in hopes of saving and buying time for, the small band of rebels that are still surviving. He doesn't do anything, actually. He just projects himself. He pulls out his lightsaber, but he never swings it. He never really confronts Kylo Ren directly. It's just his aberration that he mustered up, his image. But here's the disappointment in this. Luke clearly had control over the physical because he brought Leia the dice from the Millennium Falcon, okay? So he did have some control over the physical. There's no question about it. So why couldn't he use his powers to crush the First Order, not the First Order in general, but all the walkers, and also the, the cannon that was there? Why couldn't he do that? That would have made that a much more epic scene, and on top of that, you would have had Kylo Ren standing there seething, only to find out he's not really there. That would have been more epic and more powerful than what we got in the actual film. And yeah, that's a personal preference on my part, but I'm going to tell you, as a fan that's loved Star Wars my entire life, I grew up before the first I was born right before the first Star Wars was released. I know these movies intimately. It's my favorite movie series of all time. You don't do this to the fans. And it's not just that he decided to change things. If you look at the list I just described, everything from Luke throwing the lightsaber away, Kylo Ren destroying his mask, Luke Skywalker really not doing anything amazing in the film, although you'd like him to, Rey's parentage being nothing, and the thing I forgot to mention was Captain Phasma. We were promised by Disney that there was going to be more to come from her, some amazing stuff, and she's killed in this movie, and she has less than 5 minutes of screen time, if that, a lot less. And she's killed in a stupid fashion. It's ridiculous. So all of those story elements that were started by JJ, Rian Johnson basically came in and said, let's do away with all of it. It has no relevance. We're going to clean the slate and we're going to start over. I don't find that brave or artistic. That's what a lot of people are calling this, brave and artistic. No, that's not brave and artistic. That's just taking something that was done and saying, we're going to say that this doesn't matter and we're going to go over here. That's not brave or artistic. Like I said, it goes against everything J.J. Abrams did. As you can see, I'm quite passionate about this. I really hope that Disney can pay attention to the outrage by the fans because it matters. It matters. It's clear to see between the professional reviewers and the audience that there's a big change in the numbers here. And less than half the audience likes the movie. And in fact, there's something interesting about this fact on Rotten Tomatoes. I read this and didn't think it was true until I checked it myself. I was told, or I read somewhere, not told, I read somewhere that a lot of the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, the 4 and 5 star reviews for this particular film, The Last Jedi, weren't real accounts. And I said, that won't be true. So I got on there, and sure enough, a lot of the 4 and 5 star reviews on there are fake accounts. They don't go anywhere. They're not real, which tells me Disney's got people out there trying to drum up favoritism for the film. I don't like this to any degree. And, you know, I've had a desire to work for Disney my entire life, but what they just pulled and allowed to happen with this film, this really hurts. And it's not what I desired to happen. It's just the fact that Rian did his best to take everything that was done and just shove it aside. Not just one story element or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, the whole thing. Everything from Luke to Kylo Ren to the parentage to Captain Phasma to everything. He just said, nope, I don't like it. Snoke, I don't like it. Let's do something else. They're not relevant. I don't care. So he obviously made this movie for himself. He didn't think about the fans. And like I said, I'm not just a whiny person. I've taken creative writing in the past. In college, that's what I majored in. I majored in that and in animation. And so I understand how the creative process works, and as a movie, it's terribly written. It's not a good film. And is it entertaining? Yes, you're going to go and be entertained. But is it a good movie? No, it's not a good movie. And it's a betrayal to everything that came before Episode 8. It betrays everything that was set up in Episodes 1 through 7. So, yes, I'm a little miffed. I have never walked out of the theater so I was angry. I was very angry when I left because I felt betrayed. And I didn't feel betrayed by Episode 7. Was it a big rehash, a lot of A New Hope? Yeah, a lot of it was, but there was enough new to make it different. And what I was happy to see was that J.J. Abrams brought the feel of Star Wars back. That was the most important thing to me, is the nostalgia, the feel. It felt like a Star Wars film, whereas George Lucas's trilogy, his prequels, didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt like something entirely different. With this, again, I will even say the tone of this film, it doesn't even really feel like a Star Wars movie. You could tell right from the beginning when they're on the ship of the First Order, their big dreadnought, not even the dreadnought, just one of their normal Star Destroyers. You've got Domhnall Gleeson's character, and you could tell right away things aren't as shiny and as clear. It's more grainy and muted colors. it just didn't match the cleanliness that we got in episode 7. And, I mean, these all had to be conscious decisions on the part of Rian Johnson. Like I said, it's nothing other than a middle finger to everything that came before. And I say shame on Rian Johnson. Shame on Disney. To outrage half of the fans is not okay. There were easier ways to deal with this, more appropriate ways, but he took the cheapest way out to change it, call it brave and artistic. So I say no. Not even close. Please, let me know your thoughts on the movie. I would love to hear. Sorry for taking so long, but I am quite passionate about the Star Wars films. Anyway, I just wanted to do my first on-screen video review. I will probably have more coming in the future, and I'm a little nasally today. I've been sick for the last 5 days, so for people who see this and say, man, that guy's a voice actor, no, this isn't my normal voice. I'm a little nasally still, so I'll sound more normal, and you can actually see some of my other videos where you can hear me using my actual studio equipment behind me. So anyway, watch the video, please rate it, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.